Hi, everyone. Dr. Frankie here. I hope you're all doing really well. Happy to be back with you guys. There's Ollie in the background, just chilling, keeping us company, my little Maine Coon. So, really quick, before I jump into responding to these awesome questions, can't wait to dive in. And thanks to those of you who submitted questions. I want to encourage you, if you haven't already downloaded the Venus app, go to welcometovenus.com, download it. It's free for a limited time. So don't miss out on this opportunity and you can submit questions there. I want to keep hearing from you all. So definitely make sure visit welcometovenus.com and download the app. And let's just jump into today's questions. The first question I received was from Cade. And Kate says, I'm in a really rough spot and I don't know what to do. Me and this girl have been best friends for about 3 years. We talk literally every day. She likes 90% of my social life and honestly, one of the only people I feel truly close to. The problem is, I've had a huge crush on her for a long time. I told her about 6 months ago and she turned me down very gently. She basically said, not right now, because she was in a weird mental place. It hurt, but I respected it. And weirdly, things actually got better between us afterward. We got closer, opened up more, and for a minute, I felt like maybe someday it could actually mean something. Then recently, she started asking me for advice and talking about other girls. I finally told her it's really hard for me to hear that because I still have feelings for her. And she straight up told me she doesn't feel anything for me romantically. Now I feel completely torn. I love her so much and she's my closest friend, but it actually hurts to even talk to her right now. I want to be strong and just be her friend, but I'm so down bad and I don't know how to be around her without feeling crushed. Cade, I want to just send you love and give you a big hug and tell you that, like it's hard, right? To be in love with somebody who isn't available to us. And we have to first just be grateful that she is being honest. You're not having to wonder. She just said, like, she doesn't have romantic feelings. And you've got this beautiful friendship that you've built together and you're feeling torn. It makes sense. You've fallen in love with her and she's not available. So, what's important here really is for you to take care of yourself. It might be that being in close connection with her and in friendship with her, actively talking to her on a regular basis right now is actually asking too much of you. I think it might mean that you've got to have a conversation with her and just say that you need to take care of yourself and you appreciate that she's been honest with you and you're setting this boundary is really wanting to take care of yourself and it's you're not angry at her in any way for not feeling the same feelings towards you, that she's entitled to feel the way that she feels, but you also are entitled to have your feelings, right? So take care of yourself, take some space, let her know. Maybe you decide a specific amount of time before you check in with each other again. Maybe you agree that you're going to check in once every 2 weeks with a text, um, just letting each other know that you're there, and focus on healing yourself and figuring out how do you increase your self-esteem, increase your confidence. There's some grief also here. You've got to allow yourself to go through the different waves of grief. It'll either moments you're going to feel fine and other moments where you're going to feel really crappy. And you may feel depressed. You may feel like you're in denial that this is actually happening. You may do something called bargaining, where you're like, well, had I done this differently, maybe the outcome would have been in my favor. It's like questioning yourself about it. And then at some point, you will get to acceptance as you go through the waves. Um, and you can look up, actually, it's Kubler-Ross and learn about the different parts and stages of grief. That would help you kind of understand what it is that you're experiencing, because it's a loss. It's something you were thinking that was moving in a direction that was more romantic than it actually is. And that there's a lot of disappointment in that. So yeah, think about boundaries, stepping back a little, communicate that with this person that you care deeply for so that there's no surprises, and try to lead with love and kindness, and know that it's not like it doesn't have to be over. The friendship doesn't have to be over. It just maybe needs to be put on ice for a little while so that you can take care of yourself. And again, a lot of appreciation for her being honest with you. That's not easy to do, right? If she knows how much you care and love her. And I'm just it shows that she really cares for you too. And she didn't want to, create any confusion for you. So thank you for submitting that question. Sending lots of love to you, Cade. Good luck. Let us know. Angela, our next question is from Angela. My long term relationship, the woman I planned on having kids and growing old with, just ended out of nowhere. My whole life was tied to hers, and now everything feels ripped apart. It's like I can't even tell where my own life starts without her in it. I don't really have a big support system. I have maybe one friend nearby. I don't know how to cope with this or how to get through a day without feeling like I'm falling apart. I'm terrified of the loneliness that's coming. I still love her, and this is all so fresh that I feel like I can't even breathe. If anyone has gone through something like this in a serious queer relationship, please tell me what helped you get through it. I feel completely lost, and I don't know where else to look for even a tiny bit of peace right now. Angela, I am sorry that you're going through this. This is devastating it's like you get blindsided all of a sudden out of nowhere. The life that you thought that you had is just kind of turned on its head, and all the plans, all the visions, all the dreaming is just kind of crumbled. So I hear you that it is so devastating. But the reality is that you've got a friend in your life that you're close to, that's nearby, that's big, right? Support system means a lot. And the fact that it's one, that's plenty. You've got somebody. Hopefully you can look to them for support. Maybe think about seeing a therapist um, for a few months to give you some additional support, a safe container, a place where you can talk about everything and not worry about overburdening them. Like sometimes we have fears that we'll overburden a friend, burn them out, or maybe shed light on things that you weren't talking about because you were protecting your partner at the time. And it's much easier to talk to a therapist because there's no judgment. They're unbiased and they're professionals. They can provide you the support that's very different than a friend can. And really just recognize that this is not, you don't have to decide your future right now. You just have to be in this moment, the here and now, and give yourself a lot of self love, be nurturing yourself, and know that you're going to come back from this stronger, more resourced, more experienced. And in the next relationship, you're going to bring what you learned from this relationship that you've gained into the next relationship that's going to help it even be more successful. And I know it's probably, you don't want to think about another relationship, but my point is just knowing that you're going to come back from this stronger and even better. So the way to find peace right now is to lean on your support system and to take care of your health. Really bring it back to basics. Drink tons of water, try to get really good quality sleep. Don't listen to music that brings you down. Listen to supportive, uplifting music. Be around people that uplift you. Be feeding yourself healthy, whole foods. Stay away from processed foods because it affects mood. You'll also want to understand stages of grief, read up on it, recognize that you're going to have periods and feelings of depression, anger, bargaining also where you're like thinking that you could have done something differently. Maybe it would have, the outcome would have been different. Maybe it would have been in your favor. And also denial is a part of it, like feeling like, this maybe points that this isn't even real, this isn't happening. And then there will come a point where you're feeling like you're in acceptance and you're ready to move on. And you recognize that it was a beautiful relationship. It was good while it lasted. And just because it ended, it doesn't mean it's a failure. It means it's another chapter in your life where you've learned and you've grown and you're going to bring all of that good stuff with you to the next phase. So thank you, Angela, and sending you lots of love, hugs, and take good care and let us know how it goes. Gita, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Lately, I've been hating being seen at all. Any in-person social interaction where I have to put myself out there feels impossible. I just want to stay home alone and hit my vape and not deal with anyone. I'm starting to wonder if this is a sign. I actually need to see a psychiatrist. I keep trying to force myself to go out, but even when I do, it's miserable and nothing gets easier. Is weed rehab even a thing for people who aren't doing hard drugs? Because I honestly feel addicted to zoning out just to get through the day. I have no idea how I'm supposed to make queer friends or ever find a girlfriend when all I do is hide in my apartment. It feels like I'm this destined to be the lesbian who never leaves the house. How do you even break out of this? So, Geeta, I think you're on the right track. I think that it sounds to me, feeling pretty depressed. You also are isolating yourself, and you're probably experiencing some anhedonia, which is the feeling like you're not able to enjoy things that you used to enjoy. And depression makes us really it makes us feel really unmotivated, sometimes even lazy. We're less responsive to people inviting us to go do fun things, and we go inward, which it sounds like that's what's happening for you, where you're having to try and force yourself to get out. And every time you do, you just feel miserable because you're not feeling good. You're not feeling good about yourself, and you're low energy, and all of that just sounds like you need some more support. So I would reach out to a therapist, psychiatrist, start with a therapist, because oftentimes, you want to start with a therapist who will then recommend a psychiatrist, because they work hand in hand. They can provide you with wraparound support, because it may mean that, having right now you're kind of possibly self medicating with vape, which in the moment it can feel like a relief, but it also can create depression and low energy, and you can become really like unfocused, like you were saying, and you know you might be trying to manage some depressive symptoms with the vape, but what it does is it's compounding. And the zoning out is a way to escape from whatever it is that's making you feel depressed. So you want to get in there and do some unpacking. But at the same time, if you're, really using vape to cope, you want to have something else in its place so that you still feel supported. And so, psychiatrist, yes, a psychologist as well, a therapist that you can, that's educated, accredited, hopefully maybe even somebody you get through a recommendation, somebody you know and trust, and start doing some work around that and getting yourself into a healthy headspace so that you can feel good again, and that you want to engage in the things that you used to love engaging in, and that you want to say yes when people invite you out. So you're not alone. Also, this time of year is really hard. The holidays bring in a lot of loneliness and depression for people. So I'm glad you wrote in. Please go ahead and seek out some of the support I'm suggesting, and we'll be right here for you. Wendy, how do you actually have better relationships with people? I had this pretty big realization during a recent psychedelic trip. My girlfriend and I were working through some stuff together during it, and she told me she needs more engagement from me. I'm super introverted. I'm a performer. I was a quiet, weird kid with a huge inner world. And I realized during the trip that I've basically been leaning on that vibe my entire life. People get pulled in by whatever odd charm I have, but I don't actually have good social skills. And I honestly want to learn how to be better, more present as a friend. I've felt lonely or for most of my life, and I think it's because I never really knew how to cultivate actual deep connection. I just floated along, hoping people would get me. So, Wendy, thanks for writing in. And you ask a great question. How do you actually have better relationships with people? And it sounds like you have this charm, and you have a way of being charismatic and connecting with people, but actually intimately connecting is a whole other thing. And you're correct. That's spot on. And I love that you and your girlfriend were together in this deep moment and were able to talk, and she was able to share with you. She felt safe to share with you about wanting to engage more deeply with you. I would say see a couples therapist. There are ways, lots of exercises and techniques that you can utilize, even on your own. Like one approach that you can use is authentic relating. Start doing some research on what exercises you can incorporate into engaging with your partner in your relationship on how to more deeply, authentically connect with one another. And there are good questions to kind of really dive into, um, what's deep in there instead of staying on the surface. If we're so used to staying on the surface, that's where we tend to be comfortable. So look up authentic relating, and good on both of you to want more, right? To have want more intimacy. That's what it's about. Getting uncomfortable, answering the uncomfortable questions, asking the uncomfortable questions. And I'm excited for you because you're just going to open up it's like a whole new world once you're willing to go there. And your relationship is going to enter a whole different level of trust and intimacy. I'm excited for you. So good luck. All right. I've got one more question. Heather writes in, I feel like I'm basically the emotional shock absorber in my relationship lately. My girlfriend has a super demanding, honestly toxic job, and she's the breadwinner. So she's constantly stressed and anxious, and she doesn't cope well. She'll come home and just unload everything on me. Every meltdown, every panic spiral, every bad interaction, and then I'm struggling. She doesn't have the emotional capacity to really check in. I just stress her out more with my problems. I love her and I get that her job is destroying her, but I'm getting drained and low key resentful. So Heather, that's concerning because it sounds like you're getting a deluge on a regular basis and you're trying to be a supportive partner, but the problem is you're getting depleted naturally because you're a human, you're not a robot. And you need to be able to like there needs to be room for you in the relationship to be able to share and get support too. And obviously, it's not always going to be equitable. There will be times where one person's going through so much more than the other, and we need to show up for a partner that's going through so much more. But what you're describing is an ongoing, like, that's not a finite end to it. It's just ongoing where you're taking all of the stress and it's overwhelming you. So I would recommend seeing a therapist. Both of you go to a couples therapist. You may also individually want to see therapists at the same time because the work is different. And the other thing is, if you are able to communicate with each other directly, it would be ideal to express your concern. And it sounds like you want to be there, but you're concerned about the health of the relationship long term. Because yes, you will get resentful if you're not getting your needs met, if you're not feeling seen or heard, and there's no room for you. That everything is about your partner actually having a container to dump and you're the person holding it all. It's totally inequitable and going to strain you and cause resentment. So thank you for writing in. Get support. Try and communicate if you can. Just let her know that you want the relationship to be healthy. You recognize you need more support, you need more tools. And it's also about setting good boundaries. Like, you see that this isn't going to work long term. And it's like waving a red flag. Help. We need to get help. And I think you owe it to the relationship. You owe it to yourself. And good luck. Thanks again for writing in. All right, everyone. Good to be here with you all. Hope this was helpful. And I will see you all next week. Kisses, hugs. Take good care.